Okay. Let me join the party. Fuck. Hello, Fabi.
Jahar?
It's me. It's the gamer boy.
What's up, Jahar?
I'm fighting the final boss of Dork Souls.
Is he hard? Or she?
He is very hard.
A
formidable challenge.
Why are you looking at his pants, man? A little weird.
I'm just a weirdo like that.
Oh. Oh. It's a good comeback. How about you come on my back? Alright.
Any day of the weekend.
Only on Tuesdays, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm a busy person.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably busier than you, actually. No, I'm kidding.
Tell Fabi I'm warming up and rolling out me muscles.
Don't worry. It's because I'm only gay on Tuesdays. That's why.
Oh, I see.
Every other day I'm pretty. Yeah, every other day I'm pretty straight.
Christian is warming up and rolling out his muscles.
For what? For working out? Or just...
I suppose so. I'm not sure.
Worry about,
I figured out parrying, so I can do that.
Oh, nice.
In Dork Souls.
Tell him I have knots that are preventing me from working out.
He has knots that are preventing him from working out, says Christian.
What's preventing him from working out?
Knots in his muscles. Oh, I thought I could parry that. Whatever.
So what I'm saying is, you're about to work out.
Okay. This parrying shite is difficult. It's ace difficile.
Bro, I had some weird moments with my cousin yesterday.
What kind of weird moments?
Well, we're very similar in a lot of ways, so sometimes he thinks he can talk to me, like, try to tell me what I am and what I'm not. And so I was telling about how at work, how this one guy, this boomer, is like, made a joke about me being a cholo, and not that I mind, but I mind that he has this perception that I'm, like, dumb, right? And then my cousin, who's 29, is like, well, maybe that's how you show yourself off to the world. I mean, out of nowhere you develop this, like, Spanish twang or slang, and, like, it kind of bothered me, because I'm like, bro, you've seen me twice in the past, like, 3 years.
Tell him
Like,
my
what?
chest and quads
You know what I
always
mean?
not, and that this is just procedure.
Like, I don't know, and it just bothered me, because it's like, bro, I've literally been Mexican my whole life. Like, what the fuck? What, you want me to sound like a like white or what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It
Your
really
voice is just
bothered me.
affected by your environment. It's not like you force it.
Yeah, exactly. He acted like I was projecting. He's like, you want to sound like that, and I'm like, and he's like, and he basically he said, be yourself, and I'm like, I had to stand my ground and be like, yo, what the, like, I literally told him, like, yeah, I know what I am and I know who I'm being, like, you know what I mean, like, it kind of bothered me a little bit, but you know, he's my cousin, so I'm not gonna trip, but it bothered me, cause I'm like, bro, I literally fucking, you've seen me twice in the past 3 years, and like, when I was fucking 7, when I first moved to Illinois, I literally was so bad at English that I had to take a class to fucking learn English. I literally could not speak fucking, like, I was smart, but I couldn't speak it. I could understand English, but I couldn't speak it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, so it kind of bothered me because what? Even every year he only saw me the equivalent of 2 or 3, and it's not like I was putting myself out there as a child or a cousin because, A, that's what happens when I put myself out there. People try to belittle me, or they try to tell me who I am and who I'm not. You know what I mean? So at some point just gotta shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And so like, or else they won't shut the fuck up, right? And so like, it kind of bothered me because it's like, bro, you've never known me like that, and you do just because we're similar doesn't mean you know anything about my experience, you know. And he's like, well, just you don't have to absorb everything, just be yourself. And I'm like, I literally told him, I'm like, bro, I am being myself. Like, what the fuck? Like, I know who I am and I know what I'm not. I know, like, it kind of bothered me.
You're definitely the kind of person that just doesn't really fucking try to conform to any kind of thing. You're like exactly who you want to be.
Exactly, that's what pissed me off. And he's like, something about me being a cholo. And I'm like, bro, when have I ever acted like I'm a fucking cholo? Like, this, and that. It's just like, oh my god, they completely missed the mark. I don't know. And part of it is also, honestly, I think part of it has to do with color. Because they're all fucking, what's it called? They're all light-skinned, like white as fuck. Like my cousin Tony, he looks like he'd be Arabic or fucking Greek or some shit. And my older brother, hey, what's up, Drains? And then they're trying to, I'll play in a bit, Drains. And then, I don't know, they're trying to tell me, and like, I grew up in Colorado for the longest time. Like, I speak with my sister and my aunt over there more than like, you know what I mean? I speak to them. And so like, I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, it's just, and that's like, he was talking to me like the exact same way everyone else in my family tries to talk to me. Even as like, ever since I was a little fucking kid. It's like, what the hell, man? Oh, man. Well, thank you, Drains. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that, you know?
Christian said that his chest and quads always not up like this, so he's just procedure for him.
Okay, I got you. My dude, Christian Mitsu, my chest, like right where it connects to my shoulders or whatever, gets so, or not like, you know what I mean, like that little triangle, that little end of the triangle where your chest connects to your shoulder. Those get so fucking tight if I don't keep moving around every.
Damn it! I keep on
day.
thinking I can parry that.
And also one thing, it's like, it's not like I'm the, like, what he said, he's like, don't absorb everything around you. It's like, bro, how do you think a community works? Or how do you think, like, relationships work? Like, they absorb you and you absorb them. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, that's what happening to me too, Fabi. I gotta show you how to roll that out. You could be so much stronger, Fabi.
Christian said, that's what's happening to him too. He wants to show you how to roll that out. It could make you much stronger.
Oh no, man! I already tell him I already do a warm up before every chest workout that really helps like loosen up not only my back, like not only the muscles that connect my chest to my back, but also the muscles that connect my chest to my shoulders, and also my traps and my neck a little. But I would love for him to show me that, because I do need, because you're probably talking about Ashley and X stretch, right, Christian, or a rollout, because that would be very useful.
I think you're streaming, right, Fabi?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fabi is streaming Cristiano. If you want to dual stream this bit.
Woo. Oh man, how did he grab me?
Okay, I'll head over so you don't gotta tell him.
And also, like, you think my voice is gonna stay the exact same?
Yeah, like, what do you
Like,
want? It'd be like, would you just like, just overnight be like, oh, okay, thanks, man, and then you just like the next day you're like, hello, my name is Fabi. Like, that's not how the world works.
Yeah, and it's just like, bro, last time you saw me, I was like 17, right? I'm 20 now. Do you know how much a person changes from the age they're 17 to 20? Like, how much they realize about themselves and who they are, you know? And like, part of what he said about how I wanted to sound like that, part of it I understand. Not like that I want to sound like a cholo or anything I'm saying, but I used to be fluent as fuck in Spanish. Like, I'm still good at Spanish, and so I'm trying to, like, why wouldn't I want to use more Spanish? Like, what? You know
isn't
what
that
I mean?
your first language?
Yeah, it was my, exactly. I literally could not speak English until the age of fucking 8. Like, I mean, I could speak English, but I literally, I was like, the only fucking thing I would say is like, what happening? You know what I mean? Like, what happening? You know what? That's it.
What the fuck? I was visibly rolling right there. I need to look over that. I was visibly rolling. He attacked me mid-roll. That's not how the game works. That's just literally not how it works.
Hey, who? Especially with here, if I try to stretch out a knot, there it gets inflamed. It is not fun, Christian. And like, I was thinking about it after he left. I was trying to think about like what my voice sounded 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or like 4 or 5 or 10 years ago, and I don't fucking remember. You know what I mean? Because
We've always talked the same way.
Yeah, I don't think about I don't think about my voice. I think about my thoughts, right? And then I just let them come out the way they come out.
Yeah.
Like,
that's how everyone talks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. That's the thing, is like, what? He thinks I have some mechanism in my mind where I'm like, oh, I gotta translate it like this, you know? Like, I don't know. It pissed me off. Because up until the age of like 16 or 17, I literally didn't know I couldn't think in I didn't think in languages. Like, I thought, you know what I mean? Because when you grow up learning 2 languages at the same time, it's kind of hard to discern what you're thinking. And then eventually, I started thinking in Spanish or whatever, or in English or whatever, because I spent so much time. And then, so that's why, of course, I want to speak more Spanish. Like, that's the link. My mom and I only spoke Spanish, right? Me and my sister used to only speak Spanish. Like, right? I'm the best that speaks Spanish out of all my fucking brothers, out of all my cousins too. I speak the best Spanish. And then he's trying to tell me, don't speak like this or that. Like, maybe you should learn Spanish. How about? I mean, I still love him, but
it is dumb though. Like, I don't like it. What's even the logic behind that?
yeah.
Maybe it's because like you know when you were like young, like you were raised in like definitely like a household that was very like Spanish and very like cultured.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't sound like they were.
His parents too are very Mexican, incredibly Mexican. But that's the thing about second generation immigrants. It all depends, because they were unruly. They didn't spend a lot of time at home when they were younger, right? And so, and their parents their parents spoke Spanish to them, but they always spoke English back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I don't know, they spoke a lot more. They spoke a lot more English when they were younger than I did. So like, you know, I don't know. So their parents are very Mexican, but like, You know what I mean? Sometimes they grew up really like they're very unruly, and their parents couldn't control them, so they were always out and about, you know. And that's what happened to me too. As I started going out, I started hanging out with more kids in the suburbs, right, in high school, because my parents used to not let me go out, right. And
That's
so once I
fucked.
started going, yeah, no, it was terrible. It was fucking the worst, having to spend a Saturday night, like having to look at everyone having fun, and all your brothers too. All your brothers go out, even your parents. They fucking go out to a goddamn party, and you're just stuck at home with fucking Oscar, which is cool. I love Oscar, but you know, I don't want to be. You know, I love my dog, but I'm also trying to go out too. And so like they didn't let me drive until until I was so old, like until it didn't even matter anymore. And so like that, I fucking hate that I missed out on so much.
They wouldn't let you
I didn't have a car.
drive?
Yeah, because what's it called? I don't know. They just were too. That's the thing, is they never really cared about me. Like they do, obviously they say they care about me, but like they never supported what I wanted to do. When I wanted to wrestle, they would barely come out to watch me wrestle. They would barely let me go out to wrestle into like in events that were like extracurricular, right? So not like not through the school, right? Like if I wanted to wrestle like at a tournament over the summer, I would have to they would barely let me. There was one time me and my aunt literally got in the biggest argument because she wanted me to go to a concert with my uncle and my cousin or my brother of a shitty ass French band that no one cares about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I told my homies, I literally asked you earlier that you said you would let me hang out with my friends and go to a wrestling tournament. And this is like, wrestling means a lot to me, so I'm trying to go out and wrestle, right? And so I tell them that I can go, right? And they're like, yeah. And then she's like, no, you have to go to the concert. I'm like, well, I'm not going to the concert. I'm going wrestling. She's like, well, you're not, okay, then don't go to the concert. And I'm like, okay, I won't. And she's like, but you're not going wrestling. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're gonna stay at home. And I'm like, what? And then so I told my friends, I'm like, okay, my aunt's being a bitch, right? But I was like, I'm gonna sneak out, right? And so I, like, in my room, I'm like quietly packing up, and then like I run out, or she's in the kitchen making something, and I walk down the stairs, and like my door is right by the kitchen, right? There's like a foyer, and then it's a kitchen, right? So you have the kitchen, foyer, door, right? So I walk out the door, I open the door and I say, yes, the getaway car story, yes. So I open the door and I say, sorry, Thea, and I run out, and she starts running out, and my friends are waiting. My friends are waiting for me, and my friend in the back opens the nearest car. But go to the other side of the car. She runs surprisingly fucking fast. She tries to bang on Dakota's window.
What does she think she's gonna do? Like you're literally like a high schooler in wrestling.
Wait, what'd you say?
What does she think she's gonna do when she catches up with you? Like you're literally a high schooler in wrestling.
Tournament in the summer. Like I'm trying to get back. Paid like $200-300 for tournament when they're not that good at football at all. Like much better at wrestling. It's such an increasing rate because I had Daniel obviously loved football, but right, and obviously I like the people in wrestling. It was my it's one of my.
Fucking dodges, man. Rip.
Hello?
Hello. You're back.
Wait, that's the thing. For them not to be supportive and shit of like my one true passion, of the one thing that I'm fucking good at.
Your stream
You know
fucking
what I mean?
sucks, so I came here.
Yeah, it fucking started cutting out. But what's it called? But yeah, and then so we drove off, and then my aunt
Son
was
of a
crying.
bitch.
my aunt like tried to guilt trip me and started crying, and I'm like, when I got back, and I'm like, and my uncle tried to guilt trip me saying, "Oh look, now you made her cry," and I'm like, I didn't make it this hard. I did not make it this hard. Like literally, I am a fucking 16-year-old. I know. I'm a fucking 16-year-old trying to fucking wrestle. Like, what? What? You want me to stay in the house all fucking day? Like, and then that's the thing is like, I literally had to go to a therapist in 8th grade because I tried to kill myself because I was spending so much fucking time in the house, and my parents were like, "Wow, we had no idea. What can we do?" Right? And then fucking 3 years later, here I am with my passion, the one thing that keeps me fucking happy, right? And they're like, "No, you can't do it. Don't do it." Like, these motherfuckers, seriously.
Yeah,
it's like they don't even fucking want you to be happy. What the fuck is that?
Fucking wrestle.
I know.
They sound like really huge pieces of shit.
No, I mean, they were like, they've gone through a lot. They've gone through the same shit that I have, practically, right? So, but they just deal with it differently. And so, like, my aunt was always depressed, and, like, someone was telling me misery loves company, right? And so I feel like she didn't want to bring down her 3 sons, her fucking 3 sons that came from her. She doesn't want to bring down her husband, even though she did bring down my tío sometimes, because you know how wives are, you know, women, am I right? But what's it called? But like me, I feel like she directed all that negative energy towards me, right? Like,
she just had no control. People just want control.
Exactly. She knew she couldn't control my 3 brothers, right? And then so she just took all that fucking, you know, lack of control out on me. So yeah. And that's the thing, is like, I was good, you know what I mean? Like, I was actually good. And literally at the end of the season, they have like this dinner, and like my coach made like a really touching speech, right?
The gamers will be right back.
Hey, what's up, Adam? My coach made a touching speech. My coach made a touching speech about like my wrestling thing, right? And it was like, basically my coach said like, Fabricio, like, he started off 3 years ago, and you know, he started off pretty slow, like he had good instincts, but we didn't really think, you know, he was going to be anything too special. But all the time he would come up to me and he'd show me moves that he watched on YouTube, and he'd just always fucking be showing me weird moves or whatever. And it's like, you could see how much love and how much passion Fabricio had for the sport, you know what I mean? And so one day he just won his first varsity match, and he just didn't stop winning. And so like, I asked my aunt and uncle what they thought about that, and my aunt she said she doesn't like to give approval, right? So she just said it was cool. But my uncle was like, "Wow, I didn't realize that you were that, you know, I didn't realize that the sport was that important to you, and not only to you, but to them, and how much of an impact it can have." And I was like, "Yeah, if only you had realized that 2 fucking years ago." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then they wonder why I'm a bad kid, quote unquote. Like, what the hell? Like, what option do I have? You know what I mean?
You're a good kid, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. They paint me out to to be a bad kid because they put me in those situations.
I'm so passionate. I love the sport. I'm making a difference. They're like, "Are you fucking hard?"
Yeah, bro. they put me in situations where, first of all, they start off the fucking negativity, and I'm forced to be the bad kid. You can't be the bigger person when you're literally the smaller person. They're fucking 30 years older than you, and they're trying to fucking start arguments with you that you're not gonna win. So what else am I supposed to do but be the bad fucking person, right? Just like them, you know. And that's not the right thinking, right? But it's like, I don't know. It's
I'm
just
unplugging my mic, but I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's what frustrates me, is that I am a good kid. I'm a great kid, and they try to tell me, they're like, "Why do you try to be a bad kid?" or this and that. And I'm like, it's literally the hate you gave me. It's the anger you gave me. I used to be a fucking okay kid. Maybe not okay. I was grieving a lot, but I used to be okay. I didn't fucking like to take my anger out on anyone, right?
If this was a nature versus nurture thing, it's definitely a nurture thing, and you weren't like born being bad kid or anything.
Yeah, well, no, I was a brat growing up, and like, I definitely have some Mexican in me that's like, that's the thing though, before them, I never took my anger out on anyone. I took my anger out on myself, right?
Right.
But then my aunt was yelling at me, and one day I was like, what the fuck? Why do I let this happen to me? And I yelled back, and then ever since then, we've had like, it's just more and more problems, right? But it's like, think about it. That's literally the hate, like, you gave me. You know, like, I didn't want to be like that. And that's what pisses me off. I did not want to be like that. But as a kid, you just don't know. You know what I mean? You just don't have any other option. And so, like, and then that's what I hated is, like, when me and my aunt first got in a fight, she's like, when did you become so tough? And I'm like, if anything, this is me showing a sign of weakness, right? Because I never fought back before. I was always fucking kept my mouth shut. If anything, that's the tough part. Me fucking yelling back, that was a sign of weakness, just like you fucking yell at a fucking 13-year-old, at a fucking 14-year-old, at a fucking 8-year-old too. Just how you belittle
your
a
aunt
fucking...
just wants a fucking robot, son.
I know, just how like she fucking belittles a 9 fucking... Like, how do you belittle a 7 or 8-year-old that's your fucking nephew? Like, I don't... man. Dead wrong.
So when did this happen? I came in and like feels like halfway through.
When did what happen?
You had an altercation with your aunt.
Oh, that was like I was like 13 or 14 years old. That was the first time I yelled back. Yeah. But did you ever hear about the getaway car story?
No.
Oh, so basically, my uncle accidentally bought. He tried to buy some tickets to this Mexican band, but he accidentally bought tickets to this shitty techno French band. And there were 3 tickets, and they wanted me. Okay, I asked my aunt. I was like, "Hey, can I go wrestle with Ben Moda, Dakota Wiskari, and a third person, right? Because it was a tournament over the summer. I wasn't doing anything that fucking day, right? And this is the thing that I hate about my parents. They don't let me hang. They didn't let me hang out. And then when I play fucking video games all day, they're like, "Why is that?" Or when I don't, like, "Why is that all you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't. What the fuck do you want me to lay in my bed all day? Because then when I lay in my bed all day, when I used to lay in my bed when I was fucking 13 or 14, I was depressed as shit. And then they were kind of like, you know what I mean? What? So like, and then man, it's just makes no sense. But anyway, so they wanted me to go, but so I was like, I told them that I could go because my aunt said I could go. I was like, okay, cool. I want to get better at wrestling. I'm on the cusp of greatness, right? This is before senior year. And it's like, this is the part where like wrestling is looking up for me, where it's like there's a weight class and there's a spot that like there's a couple candidates, but you know they're all not Mexican, so you know what I mean. So it's just me in that spot. Exactly. And so like people were whispering, they're like, Fabi might be on varsity, but nah, he's not like that. And so I wanted to fucking train over the summer, right? So I'm really excited to go to this free tournament too. It's free, right? So you just basically get open match, just get to do whatever the fuck you want. And but my uncle comes home and my aunt basically tries forcing me to go to the concert. I'm like, well, I'm not going to the concert. I already told my friends I'm going to fucking like, and like I used to flake on my friends all the time because of my parents. Because my parents would never let me go out, so I used to flake all the time. So I told my aunt, I'm like, I'm not gonna flake on them again. Like, I want to wrestle you. I already told him I could go. She's like, well, you're not going to the concert then, but you're not going wrestling either. And I'm like, what? And so she forced me to stay home, right? And so I went up to my room, all quiet, right? I started texting Dakota. I'm like, yo, my aunt's being a bitch. She's not letting me go, but I'm going to sneak out. Don't worry. And Ben Moda and Dakota and me devised a plan, right? And so I started packing up my wrestling stuff super quietly, and like I started walking down the stairs, and I go to the door, open it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Thea, and she's like, huh? And then dude, this is the fastest I've ever seen her run. This is the fastest shit. Like, I start running to Dakota's car, and Ben opens the closest door for me, but I go to the other side for no fucking reason. And so he closes the door, he has to open the other door, but it's locked, and I'm like, ah! So he opens the other door, I get in, and I don't know how she ran that fucking fast. She's never run in her fucking life, and she's just out of nowhere. Just fucking Usain Bolt. And, what's it called? She started banging on Dakota's window, she's like, excuse me, don't leave, don't let him leave. And Dakota just drove off, and, what's it called? And we went to the wrestling tournament, and it was amazing, we had a lot of fun. What's it called? And then, I came
What happened
back
when
and
you
my
got back? Yeah.
oh yeah, my aunt was crying like in her room. Right, and then my uncle came home and tried to guilt trip me, like, look what you've done, you made her cry, she thinks she doesn't love you, and I'm like, well, what about me? I literally think she doesn't fucking love me because she doesn't show it, ever. Not that I want her to show it, right, because all she fucking shows me is negativity, right, and so, but anyway, so yeah, so they tried guilt tripping me, and I'm like, man, this is bullshit, and then this is what pisses me off, they start calling Ben, Moda, and Dakota punks. And I'm like, don't blame them. They're like, you're never hanging out with them again. And I'm like, and my uncle literally said, you're not wrestling this year because of that. And I'm like, bro, what do you want me to do? You put me in these situations where I'm forced to be a bad kid. I'm forced, right? Because like, what? You want me to sell my soul and stay in the fucking house and not wrestle and not pursue my dreams, not pursue my passion, like. Right? And then they always complain about, like, you need to find something that you're passionate about instead of just staying in the house all day. But then when I try to go out, they're like, no, don't go out. When I try to wrestle, they're like, don't wrestle. When I ask them to come to my wrestling meets, they wouldn't come. And it's like, man, and then they wonder why I don't want to talk to them, why I don't want to ask them fucking, you know what, like, man,
Bunch
people
of
are straight.
idiots.
I know. I mean, they're better now, right? They still have their preconceived misconceptions, but they're getting better. They realize that they were wrong, but I don't think they realize how wrong they fucking were.
Yeah. Or like how much damage their wrongness has done.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? The game forces you into New Game Plus once you beat the boss.
Oh, one thing that pissed me off too is one time I snuck a girl into my house, and she left her heels under my bed.
Yeah.
So she had tennis shoes too, so she left in her tennis shoes. She never got the heels back. And my aunt found them like a year later, and she's like, I don't want to know the details, I don't want to know what happened, but never fucking do that again. I don't want you bringing a whore in the house that might steal shit, or this, and that. And I'm like, you what, you think I'm fucking with a stripper? Like, you think I'm fucking with Cardi B? Like, I'm gonna get drugged and fucking, she's gonna steal from our house? Like, what? And it really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, what is her perception? Like, that like, kind of like shows on you, like, what she thinks of you. She thinks you're gonna be bringing, like, girls like that around.
Yeah, and I'm like, what, you think I'm not, like, and she's like, never fucking do it again, a girl that I don't know especially, and I'm like, she's like, you can go out and do it wherever you want, just don't do it in the house. And I'm like, what? Oh man, it's just like, if anything, you should be more afraid of me to go to some random girl's house. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, and then, bro, I didn't know that fucking Walgreens, like, the Walgreens Awards shows what you buy. I thought it just showed the purchase and then had like the discount and the points, but it shows the purchase. And freshman year, I bought so many condoms. It was ridiculous. I spent so much money on condoms that she saw all of it, and she's like, "It's great that you're staying protected, but it's like, are you a sex addict? What is it with you?"
What?
And I'm like,
What is it?
don't. Yeah,
Heard the condom thing. That's pretty funny.
yeah, I started
Like, no, you're
laughing,
14,
and I'm
that's what
like,
it
this
is.
is not something I'm going to talk about with you. I literally told her, I just enjoy it, and I'm not going to talk about this with you.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be thinking about when you're plowing is your aunt's face.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a
Thank God. Thank God. I almost got a boner, but then you brought her up, and the boner's dead.
That's good.
Yeah. And I also think that's why I like to be rough during sex, is because I
Good
have
to know.
a shitload of aggression towards my aunt that's just, oh my God, man, just like, I don't know. One time we got in like the smallest.
Pause! Don't ever say that again.
Okay.
We didn't need to know that.
Okay. One time we got in the smallest argument about. Do you guys remember Peter Murphy?
Mate, kind of.
No.
Tall. He was balding.
Redding here? What's going on?
What's up,
Fucking
Redding? What are you
go.
playing?
Here, Redding?
Dark Souls
Dang it.
3.
What the fuck, man? I'm over here farming.
By himself.
And you're playing Dark Holes? I remember that.
What are you, a fucking Telltale game?
Oh, fucking, Christian. Are you there?
He probably has his mic out. He has his mic out. Yo, I got these really good goat tacos.
What?
And
Fuck
these really
you.
good. I'm sorry, Running. And
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I thought you were jealous of the tacos, because they were really
I'm
good.
still alive. Oh my god.
And then I got a tamale with pepper and cheese, and I fucking got a flan cake at this like little corner stand, like this little Mexican corner stand right outside the AutoZone, and what's it called? It was nice. It was cheap as shit too, because tacos in the city are never cheap, and it was really good.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, how dare you throw that shit at me, bitch? Wanna fucking go? Wanna go?
What time is it? Bro, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have some sexist views, right? But so I saw this post, and it was like it was a basketball thing, and it said it was comparing the WNBA to Flight, right? And it said 246,000 views. WNBA or 246,000 people. WNBA average views per game. And then for Flight, it was like 2.2 million Flight Reacts average views per video, right? And then everyone in the comments is basically saying, it's like, talking shit about the WNBA, for like no reason.
Great.
And yeah, and all I said is like, bro, they're like, why are you so quick? Like, they're saying that like, oh, the 8th grade team could fuck up the WNBA. Like, and so I didn't say like anything like too bad. All I said is, why are y'all so quick to hate on the WNBA? Like, damn. And someone said,
women,
yeah,
obviously.
literally. Someone said, cause they're ass. Okay. And then someone said, why is facts always taken as hate nowadays? And I'm like, bro, look at the comments. It's literal hate. Like, literal. And then Manuel said, fuck you, Fabricio. Not that I care, because Manuel's a bitch, right? And then,
Manuel.
yeah, and then someone said, because they trash, LOL, I can get grade A team to drop off the whole WNBA. And then, what's it called? Someone said, because they didn't even make their high school team, and flexing on female athletes anonymously on the internet makes them feel better. Oh, yeah, he was agreeing with me. This guy's agreeing with me. He's saying they're hating because they couldn't make their high school team and flexing on female athletes anonymously.
Bro, the same people who have too much hate for the NBA are the same people who call everyone simps for even like looking at a girl.
Yeah. And then complain when a girl doesn't want to talk to them.
Oh, anyway, Christian, I beat the boss, and then it just threw me immediately into New Game Plus. So fucking, if I want to do the DLC, I gotta kill like a bunch of bosses, including Ornstein and Smell again.
Holy shit, you fucking beat the game?
Yeah. But like now, since I fucking beat the game, it just like, as you beat the game, it forces you immediately into New Game Plus.
Oh, it's no longer an option?
Yeah, it's not an
I
option in
didn't
that
even
game.
think of that. I forgot that's a new option in games.
So that's fucking dumb.
I got a whiz.
Wiz Khalifa?
No, I got a
Yes.
pee so bad.
Oh. How about you kiss my Tifa?
Okay.
What's a Tifa?